Hello and welcome to Odds on Europa League. Last 16 rounds, second leg, great games we have ahead of us. And of course, we have our experts, 𝐬𝐭𝐴𝐵𝐶𝐴, Alain Valnegri. Hello, you have to tell me if you think Athletic will come back. Also, Tottenham, I think those two games together with Man United are very interesting. So guys, of course, post your tips. Tell us what you think about these games. And now let's go on with the show. And let's start in San Mamés. Remember, the stadium hosting the final, and we have a great game. It's almost a final. Alain Valnegri said in the first leg, this was kind of a semi-finals, and the atmosphere we lived at the Olympico was like a semi-finals indeed. Oh. What an atmosphere, and I'm sure we are going to see exactly the same. In Bilbao, at Roma, with some advantage, thanks to the late goal scored by 𝗀𝗵𝗿𝗀𝗏. But everyone in Spain, Alain, is kind of optimistic with Athletic. They think they are going to qualify. The odds for Athletic to qualify is 2.55, and they've won all 4 games at home in the Europa League. But this Roma is really good at the moment. Is 1.58 for Ranieri's men to qualify. What do you think?
It's difficult because it's the worst moment for Athletic. So at the beginning of the season, we saw a team with some doubt, especially without the ball and with the management of the results, because we saw that in Roma at this moment during the extra time you can't receive the goal because it changed a lot of things. Because now Athletic have pressure. With the draw, Roma should have the pressure. And that one, I am curious to see how Valverde will be managed that. Because Roma is the best moment of the season. Roma is unbelievable. The job of Ranieri is unbelievable. Nobody can imagine that. Because he adjusts everything. He said, okay, the Coppa Italia, I don't want the Coppa Italia. It's not important for me. He lose in Milano. In Serie A, we saw a team able to win 1-0 away. And that one is one of the key of this Roma. Now, in San Mamés, with the pressure in San Mamés, I trust in Athletic Club. And I choose Athletic winning, odds 1.95.
Okay, this could easily go to extra time, to penalties. It's 6 consecutive wins for Roma in all competitions. Leo, Athletic is kind of struggling, actually. It's only 1 win in the last 5 in all competitions, and it was against Valladolid.
Yes, and to be honest, I think it's a very difficult one to call. This it's a tie that could go all the way to the wire. Extra time, penalties. The odds for those types of scenarios are high. I mean, we are talking of 5-1 for the game to be decided on extra time, 6-1 to be decided on penalties. I agree with Alain that it is an advantage for Roma that you have scored with 𝗀𝗵𝗏 in the dying moments of the game. I believe Athletic Bilbao is still regretting that little lack of focus at the end of the match. It was a great win for Roma. An amazing night at the Olympico. I think it's the kind of European night this team has grown used to in the last 3-4 years. Fair enough. This is a team that Roma plays in front of a full house every single weekend. But last Thursday, watching on TV, it felt completely different, to be honest. And Ranieri put a team that played up to the standard. Because all in all, I believe Roma was a better team at the Olympico last week. 6 wins in a row, as you said, in all competitions, 7 in the last 8 when we count the 1-0 away to Empoli on Sunday. Matthias Soulé grabbing his chance again, scoring the winning goal. It happened a few weeks ago against Parma. I will give him a chance to start, why not, in Bilbao. Ranieri made 9 changes on the weekend. Only Svilar and Ndika played from the team that started the first leg against Athletic. Angelino scoring his first ever goal with his right foot in the first leg. It's going to be very, very, very interesting how Athletic manages the pressure. An early goal could change absolutely everything both ways. I think we are heading to see some drama here. This could be a game for corners market. Corners over 9 has odds of 2.1 or even one corner inside the first 10 minutes of the game pays 1.66. Cards market could be as well a good one here. You had 5 yellow cards in the first leg and also a red card. It's very close for me at least to call a winner. That's why I'm heading to both teams to score yes. 1.95.
Great game, and they have a good opportunity because the winner is going to face Rangers. So they are going to be favorites in the quarterfinals, no matter if it's Athletic or Roma, the team going through. Next one is Frankfurt Ajax. Here is almost decided after the 2-1 in Amsterdam for Frankfurt, coming back from behind. Larsson and Shqiri scoring. They are struggling in the Bundesliga, 3 consecutive defeats, but in Europe is another story with the atmosphere that the supporters give to Frankfurt. Leo, is going to be very tough for Ajax to come back. I'm sure also we are going to see a great atmosphere in Frankfurt.
Yeah, that's for sure. There's going to be a packed house, almost 60,000 people in Frankfurt. This should go only one way, I believe. I said it last week, I think this competition is a distraction at some point for Ajax. They won again, yes, on the weekend on the Eredivisie. They keep the distance with PSV and their mind is there. I'm not saying that they have thrown it away the first leg or they haven't taken the game seriously. No, not at all. Actually, they have pinned Frankfurt against their own box for the last 15 minutes of the game, looking for an equalizer. They went ahead only after 10 minutes of playing, but from there they were a little bit unlucky, I would say as well, because they lost the goalkeeper after 25 minutes. I agree with Farioli that this type of that in this type of games, that kind of things changes the dynamic. Later on the game, 𝗵𝗶, who scored the opening goal, 𝐻𝐸𝐳 and Traore all had to leave the pitch with some knocks or injuries. Eintracht will give the ball away on Thursday. If there is something they like is to exploit big spaces. Ajax at times, it looked like a little bit out of breath with the Eintracht intensity and physicality. In this Europa League, Ajax away in 5 games, only 2 wins, and one of those has been against Karabakh, which is almost a given. And Eintracht he has lost on Sunday. Anyway, it seems to be the trend in the Bundesliga lately, where home teams cannot win the 3 points. So I'm gonna watch for sure Ronan's show this week. Batshuayi scoring against Union Berlin, but after not playing a single minute against Ajax. 𝗍𝗍𝗏 missed a penalty, but he remains anyway the best option for Eintracht up front. My take here with Eintracht being the biggest favorite for sure. Goals over 2.5, odds of 1.73.
Any option, Alain, for Ajax, or they will be focusing the Eredivisie and it's going to be a great success, actually, winning the Eredivisie this season?
Yes, it's only 1 goal. Ajax in the last 4 games away, they won 4 games and don't received goal. And in the last round against Union Saint-Gilloise, they qualify practically away when they won 2-0 in Brussels and suffer more in Amsterdam. Is a transition game, no? Eintracht is transition team, but Ajax is position attack team. And it's curious is when Ajax have less possession, their score against that Eintracht Frankfurt. I think the rhythm, Eintracht Frankfurt have something more with the rhythm respect to Ajax. Now Frankfurt, the last 2 games at home, they suffer a lot against 2 different teams. Against Leverkusen, maybe we can accept that because Leverkusen is better in collective and individual way, but against Union Berlin, they're super a team really defensive with good transition, with a low block, and with a team have a strong domination about the management of the space behind the line of the defense. I think in physical way, technical way, and with experience, I think Eintracht have something more, and I choose Eintracht winning odds 1.95.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. This one is almost decided. Olympiakos Bodø Glimt 3-0 for Bodø. In 1 hour, they scored the 3 goals. We expected a tough game for Olympiakos, but losing 3-0 is almost over for them. I guess it's been a huge disappointment for the Greek team. Alain, Olympiakos to qualify is almost 8. Huge surprise. This Bodø Glimt is still not playing in the Norwegian league and getting great results in Europe.
Really great results. The last defeat in Olympiakos, it was at the end of October against Asteras Tripolis in Greek Super League. What happened in Bodø Glimt is true. The Greek team don't travel really well. It's like the Turkish team where they play their way. They suffer, but at home they feel really comfortable. Right now, Olympiakos in his local league in the Greek Cup is totally dominant. Olympiakos wanna do a good Europa League. In my opinion, it's the classical game where we can see a surprise if the Greek team score soon in the game. Because Bodø Glimt maybe they don't have the habit to play in that type of atmosphere, and without the risk of the competition, when do you start to receive 1 goals after maybe the game can be really long for Bodø Glimt. The fact, I think Olympiakos will be win this game, maybe not with 3 or 4 goals of difference, and Olympiakos must need to attack. I choose Olympiakos winning with 1.5 goals in the game, odds 1.85.
Well, they beat already, Leo, in this competition, Sporting Braga and Karabakh 3-0.
Yes, and to be honest, in Athens, everyone is for sure recalling Alain, how Olympiakos lived through something similar, but in the Conference League, losing 4-1 against Maccabi Tel Aviv, to then go and win 6-1 at home in the return leg. Then, of course, Bodø Glimt is not Maccabi. This is not to say that is impossible for Olympiakos. To be honest, they should have scored at least once in Norway. Heikin, Bodø's goalkeeper, was one of the best in that game, even despite his team winning 3-0. And that tells you something. He saved very good chances, especially against 𝗀𝗄𝗃. But still, I didn't see that one coming. Not at least winning by that margin for Bodø. I thought that the double chance that I gave to Olympiakos for the first leg was a good one, but in the end Bodø took a huge step forward. I'm watching Nottingham Forest Manchester City on Saturday when the cameras were pointing at Marinakis. He was always serious, not even smiling for a single second, and you could say, like, come on, your team, Forest is going to qualify or is qualifying at the moment to the Champions League. Smile a little bit. And then I remember that Olympiakos conceded three goals, which is the same that they have conceded in the previous 8 matches in this Europa League. And then you understand why Marinakis was having that serious face, being the owner of both teams, Nottingham Forest and Olympiakos. But Bodø has built a fortress, that's true, this season at home, winning 8 out of 9 games in Europe this season. The odds yet have Olympiakos as favorites to win, but it doesn't mean that they're going to go through, I believe. I can expect the second half, which is going to get open much more. We're going to see, of course, Olympiakos pushing from the first minute. My take here is second half goals over 1.5, odds of 2.
Perhaps it's even more close the next tie, even if the result was not that definitive. And talking about Lazio, Viktoria Plzeň, the Italian team, won in the very last minute in Czech Republic. 𝐻𝐿 scored the goal, so 2-1 for Lazio, but no one can think that Viktoria Plzeň can come back at the Olympiakos. Leo, they've only won one game away in this Europa League, was against Dynamo Kiev.
Yes, I don't see that one happening, to be honest. It was a remarkable win for Lazio in the first leg, in added time, with 9 men for the last 20 minutes of the game. That goal from 𝐻𝐿 in the 98th minute, it was similar to the way they grab and run away they smash and run away in San Siro when Pedro scored as well in the 98th minute of the match, which is showing resilience for this team. Of course, it's going to be big for them not to have 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 in defense, only scoring in that first leg in the Czech Republic, scoring again last night against Udinese in Serie A. I want to see how physically they're doing Lazio, because yesterday Baroni used all his best team against Udinese, because yes, they were trying to get past Juventus in that fourth spot. In the end, they couldn't with that 1-1, but they are favorites, of course, to go through to the quarterfinals this time. The talks in Roma to look at how confident is Lazio at the moment. Lotito, the president, is talking about a possible final with Roma at the moment, which is something very, very far ahead. But that is the confidence so far. It's not a coincidence that Lazio won those last 2 games in a row in the 90th minute of the match, because this season they have scored 19 times in the last 15 minutes of the games. For me, my take here is Lazio to win combined with goals over 2.5. These two together, odds of 2.42.
Lazio to win is only 1.3, really favorites. Alain, shall we listen to Lotito? What a classic, Lotito.
I don't trust Lotito. I never trust Lotito. The meaning is always the opposite. And I am really... I am surprised about that grade of confidence, because the road is really long. It's really long, and I think Lazio right now is not the best moment of form. Is Lazio? The squad is short. Lotito maybe should be concentrate his energy to buy to signing player, no, and say that type of things. But we know his mind. He's an actor. He's not a president. He's an actor, Lotito.
And a politician.
And a politician. But I don't want to say that. But you say that. Okay. Yes, he's a sort of politician. But now. Lazio, I am a little worried about Lazio, because I think Baroni made a brilliant job. Actually, in Serie A, nobody surprised like Lazio since the beginning of the season. Maybe the Bologna right now. And Bologna will be playing against Lazio Sunday. And if Bologna beat Lazio, Bologna pass Lazio. And in my opinion, that game is more important than does Lazio Plzeň. What means with that? I think Lazio will be make turnover. Lazio can be so much confident in this game and will be concede space to Plzeň. Plzeň in the last 5 games they scored in a row. In the first game, I think Lazio was lucky, and for that reason, I think both teams will be score. Both teams score. Odds 2.05.
Well, we have 4 more games at 9 p.m. in Old Trafford. This is a great game. Man United, Real Sociedad. We saw their problems in the league at the weekend, but Man United are super favorites to qualify, Alain, after the draw in the Real Arena. Also, we saw a good draw, I would say, against Arsenal at the weekend. At home in the Europa League, they are getting good results. They won 3 and drew 1. And especially, it's impossible to trust this Man United, to be honest, but Real Sociedad are very tired. The season has been very long. They are playing so many games. And it looks like they cannot cope with any more games at this moment in time.
But it's difficult to understand what happened in San Sebastian. Yes, we can say they played a lot of games. Yes, but I think the squad is complete. It's complete. I don't understand what happened with the offensive phase, because in the last 4 games they scored only 1 goal. And in Barcelona we have the a game special because they played with template with a lot of time, but in Copa del Rey against Sevilla last Sunday, I felt a team lose happiness. And when do you go to Old Trafford without happiness? It's difficult to trust in this Real Sociedad. Manchester United in the first game, the first half was really good. The content about Manchester United, that played the game what you need to play against Real Sociedad. Waited with a middle block, but with really dangerous transition. And now Real Sociedad must to attack, must to take risk. The situation about Real Sociedad in Liga is difficult. Maybe the only objective can be go to the Conference League. And right now, the Europa League against Man United, it can be a magical night. Maybe the last game against Sevilla, the player have the brain in Old Trafford. But I see a good version of Man United against Real Sociedad. I think the draw against Arsenal is good. Is a good result. Maybe for the second half, because in the first half Arsenal was really better. But right now I am more confident with Manchester United than Real Sociedad. I choose Man United winning, odds 1.92.
No one is confident, Leo, in Spain about Real Sociedad winning at Old Trafford. And also I don't remember a big night for Real Sociedad in Europe, especially in the knockout stages. Last season they were great in the Champions League, we must say. But then in the knockout, we've seen Athletic, for instance, winning in this stadium, but not Real Sociedad doing great. And even the bookies place them really as the underdog, 3.2 to qualify.
Yes, and rightly so, to be honest. I think Manchester United can feel confident on going through. But I can see it as well this tie, guys, to go all the way, to go to extra time, to go to penalties. It's going to be a nervy game. For me, Manchester United, it needs to feel confident that they are the better side at this moment, even with all the problems that United is having. I agree with the line that the first half against Real Sociedad in the first leg was very good, as was the second one, the second half against Arsenal on the weekend. This is a team that's the problem. It cannot prolong for very long periods the good form within a game. But in the last 2 games with Real Sociedad, with Arsenal, I started to see that some light, some belief in the players. The first half with Arsenal was absolutely dreadful on Sunday, defending with 5 at the back, plus Casemiro against a team with no striker. Then again, the second half was completely different. This is a team that is feeling much better when they can play at the counter-attack, when they can run to space, especially with garnacho, who looks a little bit more lively as well in the last 2 or 3 games. Manchester United counter-attacking is the Manchester United of the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. In the end, it seems to me that is the answer for this team, something that we thought it was going to be different when Amorim arrived. The season depends on whatever they do on Thursday for Manchester United, for Real Sociedad as well, despite them having chances maybe to make it to a Conference League position in La Liga. Real had Kubo, Oyarzabal and 𝗀𝗏𝗏 back, but they miss a lot Martin Zubimendi. He played 30 minutes against Sevilla, so I guess they were trying to rest him a little bit more, thinking about the Old Trafford. But again, for me, this is one that could go a long way, despite Manchester United for me being the favorite, because Manchester United is a team that also cannot hold leads at Old Trafford for long periods. It happened many times this season, and it happened as well last Sunday. That's why my take here is a draw for the 90 minutes, odds of 3.5.
Okay, then going to extra time, perhaps both teams to score could be an option, considering also how bad Man United are defending. Really interesting this game. Next one is decided. Lyon, Steaua Bucharest, 3-1 for the French team, scoring Fofana scored a brace in the last minutes of the game, so it's over basically, although Steaua won the season away, Leo, against Karabakh and PAOK. But again, this Lyon looks like a good European team, like having 𝐿𝐴𝐶𝐶, for instance, in the squad.
Yes, I think this tie, the classic, like I said, absolutely. I mean, this tie for me is settled. Of course, I will see what Alain has to say, but for me, it's settled. Steaua needs a miracle in Lyon. 2-goal difference is a step too much for the Romanian side. It was emotional to see how Lyon player embraced crying Paulo Fonseca after Tagliafico scored the opening goal in Bucharest. The punishment for Fonseca is just crazy. I mean, hopefully the appeal will restore some sanity and Fonseca will be able to be back in the dugout soon in Ligue 1. Fofana has now 6 goals this Europa League with the brace he scored in the first leg. A good return for the 22 years old. I'm expecting more as well from the academy player, from Ryan 𝗀𝗀. He played from the start with the Steaua. On the weekend came from the bench. He scored with his first touch. He's having 6 goals, 9 assists all season for Lyon. We'll see if he stays or not after the summer. For sure, I'll know more about that. Tolisso also having a good match against Steaua, and hopefully we can get back to see his best form. This side, I wouldn't say it was a walk in the park for Lyon in Bucharest, because 𝗍𝗶𝗄 could have opened the score in the first half when everything was 0-0. But after they equalized in the 68th minute, it seems to me that they were happy with the point, and then with the brace from Fofana, this tie, for me is over. That's why my take here is Lyon to win halftime, Lyon to win at full time, odds of 1.83.
And also, they had a great week, Alain, because they also beat Nice in Ligue 1 and challenging for European spots in the Ligue 1.
Yes, for champions. The ambition must to be the champions, because the quality of the team is amazing. Now, I think Fonseca found a way to make play this team. The only question, the only doubt is in the big game. In the big game, how they defend, because we know the team of Fonseca with the defensive line so high, concede a lot of counter-attack, and against Paris Saint-Germain we saw that limit. But in that type of game against team who Lyon has technical value highest, I think Lyon is a dominant team. It's a dominant team, and warning, because it's a team can go to the final, because in technical issue, I think that they can play against every team in this Europa League. After, we know the ambient in Lyon is a little strange. It's strange, and it's difficult to work in Lyon. We have a lot of pressure. Maybe it's a young team, but players like Matic, Tolisso, 𝐿𝐴𝐶𝐶, Lovren can be the leader and give the leadership to the vestry. I waited the first goal of 𝐵𝗐𝗏 Almada. In Bucharest, he was in his standard, really electrical player. He is perfect for the style of Lyon. Now, Steaua Bucharest, when they played away since the beginning of the season, scored 75% of the game away. And Lyon will be attacked. Lyon will be play his football. Lyon has one face now with Fonseca. Lyon can be changed, the register. Maybe it's a little limit now in the biggest game, but for a game like against Steaua Bucharest, I think it's possible we will see a lot of goals. I choose both teams to score too because the odds are interesting, 2.32.
And the biggest surprise, in my opinion, of Thursday was Fenerbahçe Rangers 3-1 for the Scottish team in Istanbul. Cherny scoring a brace, so it's almost game over for Fenerbahçe. Alain, it's true that they are at this stage of the competition, but they haven't done a great Europa League. Fenerbahçe, probably we expected a little bit more.
Yes, like Galatasaray and Besiktas don't pass to the play-in, and that one is a bad season for Turkish team. No team in Champions. Now Rangers. We said that before the game. I am the first surprise about the results, but Rangers won his last 4 games away and lose his last 3 games at home. Now, Fenerbahçe is the question is the same than the last week. Fenerbahçe want to play that Europa League. Fenerbahçe has only 4 points distance to Galatasaray in Turkish Super League. It's 9 years they don't want a Super League. There will be play in the quarter final in Turkish Cup against Galatasaray. It's difficult to understand which competition Fenerbahçe will be choose, and you must to choose because Fenerbahçe don't have 22 players to play international competition. But in spite of that, I think Fenerbahçe will be competitive. The last weekend they don't play to have the focus to this game. It's true, Turkish clubs suffer away, but I think Fenerbahçe will be do a very good game in Rangers, catch a positive results. I choose Fenerbahçe winning, 𝐿𝐵𝐵𝐿, odds 1.91.
It was a big surprise also, Leo, because Rangers, they are doing a very poor season in Scotland, and I guess Fenerbahçe will be looking at the game they had against Lyon, where they lost 4-1 at Ibrox Park.
Yes, I would expect goals in this one. For me, was the biggest surprise. I agree with you, Edu, in the round of 16, in the first leg at least. I agree with the bookies that there's a parity going into this second leg. First thing to say for me, beautiful jersey from Rangers, the way he won the use in Istanbul. Second thing, it looks like and it's something we spoke, the 3 of us last week, that the Europa League is again proving to be Rangers' sanctuary, during this troubled season. And the 3-1, it could have been even worse for Fenerbahçe, because Rangers has 2 goals disallowed. Actually, Jose Mourinho said after the game that it was a good result for his side, and it's true. I don't know if it was overconfidence from some of Mourinho's players, but at the end of the day, in the last 5-8 years, it's not the first time that Mourinho gets outplayed by the opposition in a knockout game. He was 5 at the back for Rangers in Istanbul, and I don't see why Ferguson will change that for Thursday. Talisca or Saint-Maximin, I think, should start for Mo on Thursday. He needs that spark on the wings. It's not enough just with 𝐿𝐵𝐿 to serve 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐿 and 𝗀𝗏𝗏. They suffer Fenerbahçe a lot at the counter-attack last week, and they will have to deal with much more of that now in Ibrox on Thursday night. And to get out at this stage of the Europa League, despite being then very close to Galatasaray in the league, trying to win the league after 10 years, for me, if they get out at this stage in the Europa League, it's going to be a massive failure for this Turkish side. My take here, as I said, I expect goals over 2.5, odds of 1.73.
Indeed, crisis, I would say, in Europe for Turkish teams, even if they have big names in their squads. And last game is Tottenham AZ, also very interesting, this one, because everyone is expecting a comeback for Spurs. They lost 1-0 at Alkmaar. So, Leo, the bookies still place Spurs as favorites. Is 1.73 to qualify. But we saw again in the Premier League against Bournemouth how shaky they are at the back, how easy it is to attack them. And probably we should see plenty of goals with Tottenham attacking, and AZ trying to harm them at the counter-attack.
Yes, and to be honest, if Fenerbahçe was lucky to lose by 2-goal difference, what you say about Spurs, because the 1-0 defeat in the first leg was quite cheap in comparison with how many chances Alkmaar had the chance even to make this tie almost impossible for the North Londoners. But I believe, yes, that Tottenham, to be honest, will qualify, will go through on Thursday. I was on Sunday against Bournemouth at the stadium, and supporters' patience, guys, is running very thin. Anything could sparkle booze or under revolt in the stands. And at the moment, to be honest, you have this bipolar feeling with the Tottenham fans. No, there are moments when the team manages to break lines and put bodies in the box and create chances, and everyone is like, yes, come on, this is the moment. And a second after, pass backward from Romero or a fullback to the goalkeeper could create tension in the stadium. It's going to be a defining moment for Postecoglou's time this Thursday night. It will be very difficult for him to continue if the Spurs are not going through, which anyway, I can say it again, I believe they will. Romero is back after 3 months. He looked very, very rusty, to be honest, against Bournemouth. Actually, he almost conceded two goals for Bournemouth inside the first 5 minutes, but that's normal for a player who hasn't touched a ball in 3 months. Mickey van de Ven also came back against Bournemouth, played 20-25 minutes, and he's going to start alongside Romero on Thursday. Maddison is going to start on Thursday after coming from the bench on Sunday, and he should, because anything good that happens at the pitch with Tottenham is very likely that Maddison is playing at that time, so he needs to start. The same for Son. He was rested the first half against Bournemouth. He came on the second half and he scored, and he's the captain, so he's another one to start for sure on Thursday. Odegaard seemed very lively on the wing. Lucas Bergwall came on the second half, and he showed why, despite being so young, he's going to be such a great player for Tottenham. If Tottenham score first, it's a team that can score actually in quick succession. It's a team that in second half especially tends to play better. That happened all season. My take here, and I think anyway, AZ Alkmaar is going to put on a fight, and they should have won for bigger difference. I say that again on the first leg, but for me, Tottenham to qualify, and the goods are good and the odds are good. Tottenham to qualify, odds of 1.73.
Well, a lot of trust on Tottenham. Alain, it's so difficult to trust Tottenham actually this season.
Yes, but everything are I think are leading to see Tottenham pass the round. AZ is not a team feel really comfortable when they're played away since the beginning of the year. They're only won against Willem II in Eredivisie. We saw a team have a lot of problem to start the game. In the first half, AZ concede a lot. Tottenham have a lot of energy. It's a young team, and there must to risk. There must to risk is the favorite for the competition for the bookmaker last week. Today I don't check the odds, but he was the favorite for the competition, and I'm very surprised about that. I don't understand the meaning and how they can choose Tottenham favorite in this Europa League. In spite of that, for this game, I think Tottenham is really favorite. Tottenham will be start well to try to move that block and feel uncomfortable AZ, and for that I choose Tottenham winning at the end of the first half, odds 1.95.
Well, now the favorites are Lazio, actually, but followed by Tottenham. Indeed, 6.5 for Tottenham, 6 for Lazio. Well, guys, this is it for the Europa League. Remember, of course, that we have our tips section in Oddspedia, where you can post your tips and win some cash prizes or create your own tipster competition, thanks to rivals. Let's go and finish the video. Great games on Thursday with your safe bet, Leo.
My safe bet, Lyon to win, odds of 1.29.
Alain?
Olympiakos Bodø over 1.0075 in the first half goals, 1.47.
And the ACCA, Alain Valnegri?
Athletic Roma over 1.75 goals, Man United Real Zaragoza over 1.75 goals, Rangers Fener over 2.25 goals, total 3.19.
Real Zaragoza, Alain, you know Real Zaragoza is struggling to stay in Segunda División, you said, instead of Real Sociedad. Real Zaragoza, once upon a time, winners.
Yeah.
Once upon winners, one with Seaman in that final against the Arsenal, but that was a long time ago, was Real Sociedad playing. Actually, they are risking relegation in Segunda División. Leo, your ACCA?
Eintracht Frankfurt Ajax goals over 2.5, Rangers Fenerbahçe goals over 2.5, Tottenham to qualify. This free gives me healthy odds 5.17.
Okay, Deportivo de La Coruña would be a good one to see again in Europe. One of the Spanish teams that won in Old Trafford, actually, I remember. Well, guys, Leo, Alain, thank you. Guys, see you soon. Bye-bye.